man. Okay. So CSAC. CSAC is an international performing rights organization. So if your shit is getting played in the UK and you're not registered with them, guess what? You're not getting paid and you're not getting your credit for that.
Remember, America and other, this is America stuff you're talking. International, they have their own way of doing it too. They have their own companies, same conversation.
Yeah, so CSAC is an international PRO. So they can track your stuff in other countries. Go ahead.
So CSAC is not just for Canada, it's for other places outside?
Yeah. So, and another company I register with is Illuminate, and they track, well basically, they own all the stuff for Billboard, so yeah. Go ahead.
So out of all of those, you can only pick one out of all?
No, it's just the very first one I mentioned, ASCAP or BMI.
This is once again, this is a business, and everybody this is just introductory pricing.
Yeah, I'm just giving you.
He's basically is giving you a kit for your manager or team to understand. Like, everything starts out with, it's $200, it's $300, but that's your first introduction to the music business. Is you got to become business oriented, right? So first thing is people usually start a production company. They usually license that like LLC. They can call it Big Dog Productions, whatever. So basically, you always got to have a company with all the stuff you do anyway. So the production company normally is the one that would put all this stuff together. So when they sign an artist, all this stuff then goes to the clerical side, back to the metadata, back to the clerical, to feed it to all these different sites, to all these different platforms. Because remember, it's one thing to say, well, I'm all this great in the United States, but he's right. What if your song gets played in the UK, but if you ain't registered with their stuff, it don't matter. So it's just remember that what we're basically trying to give you really fast is that you got homework to do. And it's not just about making records. It's not just about trying to get a record to somebody. Are you prepared if somebody actually takes your music, like it, and play it? Because the reality is this: if a record goes, it goes faster than you can prepare yourself to try to backdate all this shit. If a record really is going crazy, it goes quick. All this stuff this is like everything's got to be done. This is like the X's and the O's. If anybody's ever played sports, this is practice. This is game film. This is putting together the game plan. Before you even set foot in the field, you got to know where you're going and what you're doing. Everything that they're saying right now, this is important, but all this costs.
Yes.
All of it costs.
And now this has to be done across the catalog, right? Like in some ways we're talking about per song situations, right? Like every time.
No, what like
This is the starter. He's giving the starter kit basically.
Yeah.
And another thing that Jazz agree with me on: if you're gonna be in the studio with somebody, if you get a feature, make sure you have a split sheet, and whoever pays for the studio time owns the master. Remember that. Whoever owns, if me and you go to the studio and I pay for it, it's me. Unless we got an agreement. Having split sheets, that's important.
I done had people's family members call me after they died, talking about let me get them songs. I'm like,
not for
him and his partner had a group. They was paying for the time with his partner talking about. Somebody got hollered. Somebody that spent some money got to talk to me about something. You know what I'm saying? Dude ain't here no more. And now y'all calling on his music all of a sudden. I'm like, have his mama call me or something. But one of your partners can't call me asking for nothing. Yeah, so y'all need to pay attention to y'all intellectual property with that one. That's a whole nother thing.
So yeah, basically whatever that you're gonna put out into the world, you gotta make sure that it's properly done. It could be tracked. Even down to your, what are those codes? Those ISRC
codes, UPC code, all that gotta be right.
Everything gotta be right, especially if you're gonna put it out in the universe. You know, you want to make sure that it is correct. Now, as far as like pushing a record, you know, that I personally like, because I do music reviews, and I feel like music reviews are good for helping you choose a record to put that money towards, you know what I mean? And just do different ones to just kind of get an idea of what catches to the ear before you start dropping some cash. cash, a lot of cash, because it do cost some money. Cost some money. You can't get around it. It's gonna cost.
Take money, make money.
I was gonna ask, where's the entertainment attorneys that if I'm like the little brother right there and I don't know, like, all right, I hear everything y'all telling me to do, all right, and I got the know-how to do it, but I don't really understand like the legal terms or how to do this. So where's the entertainment attorney that we could go to that we could ask for this type of help?
Yeah, like who would do
Well, unfortunately, we only had one entertainment lawyer, urban entertainment lawyer that I know of, and she moves, so she don't even live here no more. This market is so small that we don't really have the infrastructure for that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just giving it to you straight, bro. The answer is we don't have nobody here. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta outsource.
But yeah, you're gonna have to. Yeah, so we don't have anybody locally that I know of off the top of the head. I know there's a couple of organizations, but I don't have the names right off the
The
bat.
reality is, the reality of the situation is a record for any artist that really moves, you don't gotta spend no money. Because if you do what he just said and what she just said, is you give it to Rocky, Street King, Boogie D, Brian B. Shining, right? To your homies that really tell you the truth. Not your homies that just want to be down. Yo, that's just whack. But your homies that, and then everybody play it, then you got a record. The analytics will start popping up because Rocky is not on the radio. Street King is not on the radio. So if they're playing it, that means it's moving the club. You can, if you go, I'm gonna be honest, you go get Rocky and Street King or 9/11, Money in the Club to play a record, you just bought them some drinks.
Free game.
So I also noticed, like, now we're on to moving the record, right? So I do get a lot of artists that be in my inbox and, you know, sending music and things of that nature. But from my standpoint, with getting records, it's properly sending records, right? So when you guys send me a record, it has to be proper. And what is proper? Can somebody tell me their definition of what you think is a proper way to send music?
I definitely.
I was just gonna say, circling back to what y'all already said, making sure the metadata and all of that is correct, it's labeled correctly, it's organized. You have all the details about this specific file. I like that. Jack said that. But to me, I mean, the reason I asked all of that was because that's where I'm at currently, is I'm sitting on what I have and I'm ready to make a move with it. And it's all labeled, and I'm sitting in the computer tapping this on, that song. You know what I'm saying? But it's all labeled. I don't know where to, you know, so I think that's kind of, yeah, it's just all labeled correctly. It has the name, it has the title, timestamp, things of that nature.
I got a question too. I got an answer. About didn't you? Yeah, the right way. I feel like to send a song over, like the proper way.
Right.
I feel like is the heading has to be proper. Like that's, you know, and I could be wrong, but I just think that as long as the heading is okay and it's not like misleading, I think that's what you should do.
Okay, so that's part of it. One is your email address matching your name. Cause like your name can be Brandon, but your artist name is Be Nice, and it just don't match up. I don't know who's sending me the record, right? Your heading label correct. Now in that body, I'm gonna need to know a little bit about you. So that's when an EPK come into play, which is an electronic press kit, right? So, I don't know. We was about service in the record.
These are all
was everybody was together and there was a lot of things moving, the pockets, right? The artist is moving, the music is moving. Then you start to build an industry within the city. And that's where the support comes in. So, but you can find an entertainment lawyer basically anywhere, but once again, they ain't cheap. And even though they will take your business because they're basically like anybody else, they don't know, you could blow up, right? But I will always say get a lawyer because there's nobody that's gonna help you understand this better than an entertainment lawyer because there's so many things that when they start talking about, well, he said mechanical. Mechanical means royalties. Mechanical means anybody that had a participation of this song, right? And so that means that somebody has to figure out if this song is sold, if you sell it for $1, how we gonna take this $1 and whack it up between all these people? And all these people is gonna be the LLC company, which could be the production company, could be your manager, could be the artist, and then everybody else. So you're saying it is $1, but there is a legal way, because I'm telling you, because it's factual, that entertainment lawyers has figured out how to whack a penny in half.
You're just a fish ready to get hooked, right? So amateur. It's not even amateur, man. You just
you lost. You blinded. You blind.
Taylor Swift signed a bad deal.
But my point is what they're explaining to you. To get yourself to the standard of all of this, you need to insulate yourself. You need to find a left and a right guard, a tackle. You need to be able to have yourself defensively situated with the paperwork and the team to understand what you're walking into. So if you don't know an entertainment lawyer, then you come to events like this so that
Okay, so the person with the money normally understands the game better than you. Because they know you're hungry. You just want to be on stage, you want to get some girls, you want to get some ice, and you think you're doing it, and they are sitting around, get out there and shuck it down, my friend, because you making me a millionaire and you ain't shit.
As soon as you say you ready, they ready too.
Right.
But now, I know it seems like we've moved around a lot because you guys have dropped a lot of knowledge. But all this is about industry standards, right? And I think a lot of what's happening here is, if we pick on you or any of y'all, what you're ultimately trying to do is set yourself up to be able to be on the level, to interface or to get money from this situation, right? So I just want to say all this is really good info that you guys should be grabbing onto. The other part though I'm curious about for me is because we're in KC and this is a unique market in itself, we have the standards of music to get on. I assume like the EPKs, the emails, all that stuff in coding, that doesn't matter what region you're in. You should be doing that across the board, right? What are some ways that the artists from here in KC that in terms of the sound and the way they present themselves, what are some ways that they can help themselves be more noticeable
Well, the professor in me will not allow myself to. I have to do this before we go there. So EPK stands for Electronic Press Kit. I have to explain that because I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence, but we can sit up here and talk this all day amongst each other, and it may sound like Chinese math to some people. So EPK stands for Electronic Press Kit, and I'm giving y'all some basic rules on all of these things. So Electronic Press Kit typically involves a bio. How many of you have a bio? Raise your hand if you have a bio. Okay. A bio is basically 1 or 2 paragraphs that explains who you are as an artist and what type of music that you do. Do you have a headshot? Do y'all know what who has a headshot?
We can get some.
Y'all got a million of them joints.
I'm not an artist.
Okay, and another component of an EPK is all the stuff that we previously mentioned, with the song, artwork, properly formatted, MP3, different versions, so on and so forth. So that's an EPK. So we'll start there. All right, so you got the music, you need to have a biography, you need to have a picture, you need to have your songs or whatever you ready to promote. So I have a list that y'all need to pull your phones out again.
Let's go.
So, and I'm not gonna go too crazy into this because it's just not a lot of time. But we had these things called PROs. All right, performing rights organizations. So, this is the first thing that you need to register. Now, there are multiple PROs, and I'm gonna explain the domestic ones and the international ones. I'm gonna make this real quick, so y'all need to be checking it out. ASCAP or BMI. You can be one or the other. You cannot be both. You can register as an artist for free. I'm giving y'all some game. I charge niggas to come in the studio. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you got ASCAP. I'm about to fly through these. ASCAP or BMI. You can only register with one or the other. You can register as an artist for free. They do not cut checks to artists. They only cut them to companies. So you will have to register a publishing company as well. And it costs about $200, $150, $200. Go to these websites, ASCAP.com, BMI.com, and look through the frequently asked questions, because a lot of the shit that I don't have time to explain to you right now, somebody's probably asked them on the website. So you can go through and read those, and they'll probably answer a lot of your questions. The next one is Sound Exchange. So Sound Exchange, the government developed, like BMI and ASCAP is typically for physical media. So when digital media happened, they didn't have any laws for it. So that's how we got the Napsters and all the other stuff. It kind of circumvented what they were doing with the physical media. So they created a digital, they created new laws for you to register. So basically it's a PRO for the new age by the government. So Sound Exchange. Song Trust is another one that y'all need to register. MLC, Music Licensing Collective. Y'all need to register with them. Go to the FAQs, look through this stuff. Media Base, that's Boogie Specialty. That's BDS, Nielsen. So when somebody watches TV and you see them say, oh, it was 1.5 million viewers that watched this game. How do they know that? It's because of Nielsen. Somebody plays your record 5 times or 500,000 times. How do they know that on the radio? It's because of Nielsen or BDS.
You can get some information, or so you can get some names that could put you with somebody that may.
I can tap you in with the lady that I know, but she moved from here, and she lives in another city. So yeah, but I'll give you her information because she still does it.
I was gonna say, just get around like-minded people, bro. Like, if your peers ain't on what you on, what are you willing to sacrifice, bro? Because I done been away from my family. I could be like, he could be with his family. He could be with his family.
It's my day.
I think it's people here. So it's a team thing, bro. Like like you said, you've been doing the shows with Made Mob. That mean you need to go to networking events. That's a viable thing. Networking, shaking people in. Who the producers?
See,
who make videos?
Yeah. We need to get to that. All right.
Just being
so
like-minded people.
I'm gonna dial it back again because I want y'all to understand some of this stuff. Who knows what a DSP is?
Sure.
All right, that's an acronym. It stands for Digital Streaming Platform. Because I know a lot of the stuff that we talking about is kind of advanced. So for me, y'all just need to hop off the porch at some point. Get some music out there, get it out for distribution, get registered with some of these companies, get an understanding about these things. So when that opportunity comes, you have enough knowledge to understand what's actually going on. So the top 4 digital streaming platforms, you got DistroKid, y'all listening? DistroKid, CD Baby, TuneCore, and United Masters. Those are the 4 main. Now there are a ton of other digital streaming platforms, but those are the top 4. And if you go, everybody has their advantages and disadvantages. For me, DistroKid is you can get your shit up instantly or whatever. If you run into a snag or you have an issue, they have terrible customer service. So
Yeah.
So your music may just end up hanging in the balance somewhere for God knows how long.
Hey, and to piggyback off of that, have your own ISRC and UPC code because they'll take your music down if you don't give them their money. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so well, a lot of times if you register with the DSPs, what they're charging you for is an annual fee. So if you don't pay, you have to pay that every year to keep your music, unless you pay it's called a forever fee. So it may be more, and they'll give you that option. If you bypass it, you don't pay that shit, or your credit card is different, it's out of here after a year. So DistroKid, we had issues with customer service. TuneCore is more balanced. For me, customer service is cool. I don't have any issues with them. See,
Standards though,
I
so
mean,
we
like,
good.
because I know personally when I get music, let's say they're a stranger, I don't know nothing about them. I don't know, can we be nice? If you send me a record that says Be Nice Kansas City, it has the album cover, and then it has its DJ service pack in there, I most likely will take a look at the record more than someone sending me a record and it just got MP3s. I don't know. I don't know who it is. I'm probably gonna ignore it. That's just coming from me. When I get records and I send it to whoever I send it to, and I, So I play music that looks appealing to me.
That'll get you a look.
Yeah, they don't look like a what do you call it, spam or one of those people that's trying to hack you, a hacker stuff.
Spammer.
So yeah, that's just one part, guys.
Hey, just to circle back to what you were saying, you saying that you ready. Do you got your royalties together? Or you got your mechanical royalties? Like, are you signed with artists, Apple artists? Are you with Spotify? Like, do you got your paperwork? You got your LLC?
When I say I'm ready, I mean in the sense of strictly being a rapper. I was always told, from being the artist standpoint of view, especially because of my background, I was always told, focus on making the music. So when I say I'm ready, I'm like, I'm sitting on an album, 3 EPs, some Lucy's. I have things that I want to expand on. I have the material.
Okay.
My thing
Do you got
now,
a manager? Do you got somebody that's like your manager?
No.
You don't have no team?
The closest thing I have to a manager is retiring.
So what you ready for is to be taken advantage of if you want to
Yeah, exactly. Y'all got to say you ain't ready, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's
and that's why I came to this today, is because the knowledge I have about the game, I don't feel like I would be, me personally, where I'm at, because I don't have a manager. I don't even look at contracts. They're being put in my face, but I don't look at those because I don't have a manager. I don't have someone to look over this and make sure that I'm not bending over. You know what I'm saying?
I got what you're saying.
So when I say I'm ready, I definitely mean from strictly being a rapper, being a musician.
Okay, that's true, because like Boogie D said, bro, this is a business, bro.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
like,
sir.
you gotta have your LLC, knowing your publishing, knowing a producer, knowing an engineer, a guy that you feel, and you really gotta have it right. Like, you just record music, pretty much, right?
Pretty much.
Okay, all right.
I just said that, bro. I'm a rapper too.
The last thing I did not bring up is if you send a record to radio and it says clean, do y'all know what clean means? Is nigga clean?
No.
Is
No profanity.
ass clean?
No.
So why you? So I'm gonna be honest with you. So we have gotten over 500 songs people have sent. 99% of them, as soon as we hear fuck, nigga, bitch, pussy, we stop, throw it away.
So if I
So
may,
you wasted our time, you wasted your time because we're not gonna clean it up.
right. So earlier when I had asked about radio play, is it smarter if you hear? For me as an artist, I can hear when the music itself. Oh, this can go on the radio. You know what I'm saying?
But what
So
you're talking about
right.
is what we're talking about is just being technical.
Yeah.
And technical is if you send her a song, because she's got a radio show, you send me a song, it has to be clean. What he told you was there's a DJ service pack, which you can put the explicit, the radio edit. It's called clean. But some artists don't really know what the word clean means because there's been a blurring of the lines because of technology, because of different things. People think that certain words are cool to get to play, and they're still not. So everything that we're saying, and we are jumping around, is there's two things you need to understand. First thing is, he brought up something very, very important. You gotta have somebody that understands the business side. And the business side of this is a lot of clerical paper work. It is a lot of things that person needs to know how to fill out. They need to know where to submit it. They know how to need to pay the dues, the fines, whatever you want to call it, to get it done. That is the first thing. So what you're saying is, I'm an artist, I have recorded all these songs, I believe in myself, and I'm ready to go, but I don't have a team. A team comes in, and the word could be a manager, it could be co-manager. Two things need to happen. One, you gotta have somebody that understands all the things we're talking about. When he said LLC, that means, do you have a production company? Or do you have a company? Because a lot of times, that what you can do is somebody can give you a contract. I have an LLC. I can sign you to my production company right now. And I can say, I got 100% of your publishing. Do you know what that means?
I don't get any royalties from my intellectual.
I own you. Basically. That means if you blow up, I make all the money.
Yeah.
And then basically you work for me. And I can pay you what I want to pay you. Right?
Slave. Yeah.
Basically. So, first things first. Do you know what mechanical means?
Meaning electronic, digital?
No. Mechanical means that if you go to his studio and she's on the record, he's on the record, he's on the record, you got to pay all these people. Then if you sample it, you got to pay the person that sampled it. So now the next part comes in, what are the percentages that you paying these people? Because what they don't want, they ain't doing it for a flat fee. They're doing it for the same thing you doing it for, because if the song blow up, they want to eat for life, right? Because if a record becomes a hit, it becomes a hit and it stays around. Everybody who's on a record theoretically should be able to eat off that record for life. But back in the day, artists didn't know this, and they were getting jerked. Not just out of the publisher, the people that was on the record. They were getting like $200. Boom, you sang on the record, sweetheart, thank you, sign this. Didn't have no other rights to this song, became one of the biggest songs in the world, and she got $200. Don't matter. So everything that he's saying to you right now is business. Because the biggest thing about the music business is stealing.
Yes.
It is not about being fair.
But yeah, so we headed back to the crib now, or where we going to now? Okay, bet.
We outside. In the rain and the